So it's prediction time. Stay tuned till the end as Imola is going to be a wild one. It's 4 categories for this tier list: race top 3, quali top 3, points, the others for the rest including DNF. Let's begin with AlphaTauri, Pierre Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda. Bahrain was going great for Gasly until the race day. He has beaten both the McLarens to post the 5th fastest time in Q3 in an AlphaTauri. Wow, that was unheard of a year ago. He did have a good start on the race day, but after the safety car restart, he clipped Ricciardo and damaged his front wing, and from that point onwards, it was race over for Pierre Gasly. He eventually retired on lap 52, putting an end to a miserable race day. The AlphaTauri car has been really strong for 2021, and from what we've seen so far, it looks like it's a 3-way battle between McLaren, AlphaTauri and Ferrari. For Imola, I believe Gasly will be in the top 10 and score his first points of the year. What a spectacular debut in Formula 1 for Yuki Tsunoda. Just listen to this.
Like, come on, I got traffic.
Yeah, we saw Yuki, we saw. The lap was not bad until the traffic, so no worries.
He set the 2nd fastest time in Q1, scored points by pulling off a great overtaking move on Lance Stroll on the last lap. Honestly, why did he not win the F2 championship last year? Anyway, he could only become better as he gains experience in Formula 1. He could score points at Imola, but he has to fend off the others in the midfield, especially the Aston Martins and Fernando Alonso. So considering the hard fight between the midfield teams, I'm gonna place him in the others for Imola. Also guys, these predictions will be nothing close to the actual standings, but let's enjoy the process of doing these and the anticipation. Next up, we will look at Williams, George Russell and Nicholas Latifi. George Russell will be hoping he will not repeat last year's performance at Imola. He crashed out on his own from a potential point score position while behind the safety car. What could have been Williams' first points since Germany 2019. While Williams definitely improved from last year's car, it's still a long way off from moving into the midfield. Both Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri also made improvements and moved further ahead of Williams. The team is rolling out new parts to fix the wind-sensitive Williams, but it could be hard for them to make significant improvement over their rivals. George Russell has the speed, but not the right machinery underneath to push for higher places, so let's put him in the others. So far we have seen a bit of improved driver in Nicholas Latifi. Of course he's not in the same league as George Russell, but looking at his qualifying performance in Bahrain, it's definitely a development in the right direction. But can he get out of the bottom 5 if all cars are running? Maybe not with this Williams, so let's place him in the others. Excellent guys, let's bring in the next team, the Haas F1 team. Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin. Mick managed to finish the race in Bahrain, and that's an achievement for a rookie in the current Haas F1 car. He had a spin similar to his teammate Nikita Mazepin. It looks like this year Haas is similar to 2020 Ferrari, snappy at the rear. While the team have new parts arriving in time for the race at Imola, these will be the final changes the team will make to the car for the rest of the year. It's not going to be a miracle comeback for Haas at Imola. Currently Haas is the slowest car on the grid, therefore both Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin will be in the others. And the next team we will look at is Alpine. Obviously, we have a bit of knowledge about the teams from the Bahrain Grand Prix, but it's still early as we could not get to know the true pace of teams like Aston Martin and Alpine. I am quite sure Alonso is making the Alpine look much better than it actually is. Absolutely delighted to see Fernando Alonso fighting with the likes of Carlos Sainz and Yuki Tsunoda. If you recall the Bahrain Grand Prix predictions, I was unsure about his race fitness after a 2-year absence from Formula 1, but he looks absolutely charged and seems like he never left Formula 1. Team Alpine, you should give Fernando a reliable car. I am sure he will outperform the car. At Imola, I'm going for points for Fernando Alonso. Coming to Esteban Ocon, apart from a few glimpses, we haven't really seen Ocon perform beyond the capability of the car. More often, he failed to get out of Q2. Of course, he has Mercedes links for a potential drive with the team in the future, but I don't think he's Mercedes material yet. For the race at Imola, I think he will be in the others.
Can you hear me or not?
Yeah, can you hear me, Kimi? Radio check. Radio check, if you can hear me. I need more charge. Okay, Kimi, box if you can hear me.
Can you hear me now?
No, negative. I can't hear you.
But I can hear you now.
Yeah, box if you can hear me.
Still don't hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
You don't hear me?
No, negative.
But your answer is still not.
I absolutely love this one. This will be one of the best Kimi moments. Glad he's still around. In Bahrain, he finished just a second behind the final point scoring position from Lance Stroll. Overall, Alfa Romeo certainly improved this year, and it's visible as both Giovinazzi and Kimi Raikkonen qualified 12th and 14th in Bahrain, which is a considerable achievement since they were struggling to get out of Q3 for most of last season. Both the cars were out of Q1 only once in 2020. While there is pace improvement in the Alfa Romeo, they have the problem of the car being too heavy on its tires at the braking points. Well, for the race at Imola, both Giovinazzi and Raikkonen will be in the others. Lando Norris had a nice battle with new teammate Daniel Ricciardo at Bahrain. Although Ricciardo tried to come back, Lando defended well to keep his position. Later on, he did an awesome job to overtake Charles Leclerc and maintain his well-earned 4th position throughout the race. So my wish really came true. It's very exciting to see Ferrari and Mclaren battling for positions again. Right now they might not be fighting at the front, but I'm sure that day will come soon, as both the teams are on the upward trend. So from what we have seen so far, it looks like Ferrari vs McLaren battle for the best of the rest title. Also, Aston Martin might come back a bit as the season progresses, but they also have the low rake problem, so may not be a clear contender to fight for the point scoring positions regularly. Barring any technical or on-track issues, both the McLarens should be comfortably in the points. Aston Martin had a strange start to the 2021 season. Bahrain hasn't been a happy track for Sebastian Vettel, both in testing and race weekend. While he had a decent start, his overall race was a little bit clumsy, rear-ending Esteban Ocon. In general, it's a disappointing debut for the team, but the team is behind Seb and is providing all the support needed. Lance Stroll, on the other hand, did salvage something for the team by taking the last scoring position. This could be controversial, but I'm going for no points for Aston Martin at Imola. The next team we will look at is Ferrari. A very cautious start to his Ferrari debut for Carlos Sainz. While he dropped places in the initial laps, he regained the position and finally finished in 8th. A decent performance which is only going to improve as he begins to gain confidence with the Ferrari car and the team. But can he finish in the top 10 at Imola? What do you guys think? His teammate Charles Leclerc was flying in the initial laps at Bahrain, overtaking Bottas after the safety car. While Ferrari are not up to the performance of Mercedes or Red Bull yet and may not be on the podium if all 4 cars of Mercedes and Red Bull are on the track, it is still an encouraging start to the new season for Ferrari. They scored 3 podiums in 2020 with this. And I'm sure it could be better this year, but they have to be opportunistic and pick up the pieces whenever a chance pops up. So for Imola, let's go with points for both the Ferraris. So in the recent past, watching F1 races was something like this. But now the circumstance has changed to this. Wow, what an amazing comeback by Formula 1. F1 fans across the world are really proud of their sport now and can show off to other sporting fans, mostly because Red Bull were able to build a competitive car, probably the best on the grid at the moment, at least until Mercedes catches up. As we saw in Bahrain, it's not just down to a faster car anymore. Red Bull need to build an adaptable plan and also be quick in reacting to Mercedes' strategy. Obviously, they need to use both their cars to make this strategy work. Checo had a poor qualifying in Bahrain, but of course he's mighty in racecraft. If he could improve in qualifying and be in the mix with the other Red Bull and the Mercedes cars, then boy, we have a mega championship in 2021. Max is one of the best, if not the best driver on the grid at the moment in terms of pure pace, but tire management, being flexible to strategies are more significant than ever. So it's game on with Lewis leading 1-0 at the moment, but it's far from over. For our predictions in Imola, both Red Bulls will be in the points, but let's come back and see who will be in the top 3. Let's talk about Mercedes now. So Mercedes can occasionally mess up Valtteri's race with poor pit stops or strategy, but seldom see it happen to Lewis Hamilton. Of course, there's Monza 2020. Somehow it's apparent that the team favors Hamilton even when he's not leading a race. Remember 2020 Imola, Valtteri was a race leader, but Lewis got the alternative strategy to go along and also benefited from the virtual safety car. I think pit stops should not be allowed during the virtual safety car, similar to Formula 2 races. Lewis Hamilton is brilliant in managing the tires. Certainly, it's not easy when you're defending a charging Max Verstappen on 10-lap-old tires, and it's rare to see Mercedes struggle so much to win a race. And this year will be a lot of hard work for Mercedes. And if any team can pull off a strategy like this, it's Mercedes and Hamilton. But it's just the beginning, and we have 22 battles more. The team's trackside engineering director, Andrew Chauvelin, suggested that Imola may not be their best track due to the high-speed nature, and the 2021 Red Bull may have the advantage on such tracks. But you can never write off Mercedes. So all the 4 drivers from these 2 top teams will be in the points, but let's see who will be in the top 3. If you go by your rational thinking, the top 3 could be Max, Lewis and Valtteri. But let's look forward for a diverse podium. As far as the qualifying goes, it could be straightforward with Max, Lewis and Valtteri. But for the race, I'm going with Max, Valtteri and Lando Norris. I hope you enjoyed and I will see you in the next one.